Welcome and welcome back for those returning. My name is Deborah Whipke and this video is about help my critic is out of control. We're going to go over the reasons why your critic gets out of control and 4 tips to get it back under control so that you can make the positive changes in your life that you want to make. If you've been watching my videos, then you know that my life's mission is to help you to lead a healthy, strong, fulfilled, and joyful life. So the critic, why does the critic show up? The critic shows up when we attempt to make any change in our lives, and I mean any change to the status quo. Let me give you an example. For you ladies who are watching out there, you will probably be able to identify with this. You're at the store, you're in the jewelry aisle, and you see this beautiful necklace. Not normally your style, but you have a top at home that you know will match perfectly, and you've been looking for something to wear with this top, a pretty piece of jewelry. The problem is, it's this big chunky piece of jewelry, and you don't normally wear chunky jewelry. You normally wear small change jewelry like mine. But you decide, you know what, I'm ready for a change. And chunky jewelry is in this year. It's big, so I'm gonna buy this. You are so excited, so motivated. You buy that necklace, you take it home, you put it aside. 3 weeks later, you get it out when you get out the top to wear. You put on the chunky necklace, and there's the critic. The critic starts saying, why are you wearing that? What is that even? You don't wear chunky jewelry. That looks dumb on you. You shouldn't wear that. And suddenly you're like, I don't really like this necklace. Why did I buy this necklace? And you take it off and you put it aside. The critic has struck. Any change to the status quo, big or small. So let's take a bigger change. Again, I like training. So let's say we are training for a half marathon. You decide you're going to train for a half marathon and you spend the next 3 weeks researching what it takes to train, buying your running shoes, buying your running clothes. You've got everything ready. For 3 weeks, you are incredibly motivated. You are incredibly pumped up. You are so excited to begin. You have your start date marked on the calendar. You know on this day, I'm going to put on those running shoes, I'm going to put on that new workout outfit, and I am getting out there to start. Everything goes great until the day. The start day, you're standing in the bathroom and you're brushing your teeth, and the critic says, are you really going to start today? I don't know. I mean, I kind of don't feel very well. I think I have a headache coming on. Or maybe I have an upset stomach. Maybe we should put it off until tomorrow. If that works and you think, yeah, I really do have a headache coming on, I think I'll just put it off until tomorrow, then the critic did its job and it kept the status quo. If it doesn't work and you say, you know what, I think the headache is so slight, I'm going to get over it. I'm going to go out there anyways. Even if I just do a walk run, then what happens? The critic will change tactics. That's what happens. Then it starts talking to you in a different way. Whatever is going to convince you to not get out that door and start running. So it tried the I'm not feeling well, so then it'll shift gears into something else like, you know you're not going to be able to run this half marathon, right? I mean, you know you're really not going to be able to do it. You're out of shape, you haven't run in years, and you really think you're going to be able to do this? That might work. It might. And then you start thinking, I don't know. I'm probably not going to be able to do this anyways. And it is a lot of time and effort. And maybe I made a mistake. I jumped the gun. I really don't want to do this. And the critic won. So now you feel like a deflated balloon and you've lost all your motivation, you've lost all of your fire, and you go back to the status quo. We don't want that to happen, right? You don't want that to happen, to continue to happen, and I don't either. So what can we do? First thing we're going to do is we're going to notice. We're going to notice when that comes up. Let's take you back to your start day and you're so excited and you're standing there brushing your teeth and you're so motivated and so pumped up, and then you hear that critic. Well, that's the first thing. Notice that the critic, someone else spoke to you. Those aren't your thoughts. They belong to another part of you anyways. And so the part of you that wants to keep the status quo. So notice and pay attention. That's the first thing. You've got to start paying attention to when it pops up. And again, if you remember that any time you make a change in the status quo, no matter how big or no matter how small, even if you decide, I'm going to put a cucumber in my salad, so I'm going to buy that and take it home now. Believe it or not, when you go to slice up that cucumber, you might think, well, I really don't care for cucumber. I never cared for cucumbers, did I? Maybe I don't want that in my salad. How many times has that happened, actually? And then you end up not using it or letting it rot or throw it away right then. So any change to the status quo gets that critic talking, because its sole job is to keep the status quo no matter what. So listen, pay attention, notice when it comes up. And then the second thing is to recognize you don't have to listen to it or believe in it. You don't have to. You make a choice in whether you're going to listen to the critic or not. So you're standing there with that cucumber in your hand and you're thinking, well, you know what? I want a change, and cucumbers are good and cooling and it's a hot day and I want that, or I want to wear that chunky necklace. I bought it for this top and it goes perfectly, so I want to wear it. Or, you know what, I'm going to go out and start training for that marathon. Even if I don't do it, I'm going to start anyways and see where it leads. The next thing, and this one I want you to make really fun, is to name that critic. Not only name it, but give it a personality. If you could see it, if it was standing in front of you right now, who does it look like? What does it look like? What does its voice sound like? Does it have like a strange sounding voice, or what? Name it. Give it a personality, because it's someone that you're going to start to pay attention to and notice a lot more and relate to. So I'm going to give you a personal example of something happened to me when I was actually starting this channel, this YouTube channel. I'm all pumped up. I'm all excited. I've bought the tripod. I bought everything that I needed, at least to get started with the channel. And I have my start day. I know when I'm off of work that I'm going to start. I've even made my notes for my first video and everything. And truthfully, I'm standing in the bathroom in the morning brushing my teeth, and I hear the critic in my head. You really don't want to do this. And on it went. So I like to think of me and my critic as riding in a car together. That's the way I like to envision it. So for a very long time, the critic was driving the car. But recently, when I decided to really take control of areas of my life that I didn't feel I had control of, I actually put the critic in the passenger side. And I said, you know what? From now on, you're on the passenger side. Well, that day, the critic was irritating me so much that I envisioned getting out of the car, walking around to the passenger side, dragging the critic out of the passenger side, dragging the critic back, opening the trunk, tossing it in the trunk, and saying, that's where you belong until you learn to listen to me, because we are making changes around here and I'm not going to let you be in control anymore. Again, make it fun. And then the last thing, step 4, is don't argue and fight with the critic, because that sets up a push-pull, a tug-of-war, and that just does not work. Instead, you want to be able, again, to speak to the critic and just put it in its place. Remember, you are taking control of your own life, and that means taking control of the critic as well. So as I said, if it, like me picturing the critic riding along on the passenger side and then tossing her in the trunk until she can learn to behave herself. So every time, by the way, now recently that has come up and I hear the critic, I'm like, you're going back in the trunk if you don't be quiet. And you know what? The critic stops talking. It's as simple as that. or it's as complicated as that, however you want to look at it. Anyways, I hope this helps you to get that critic under control. I know that it helps me to think of that critic riding around in the trunk when I'm upset with her. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button. Leave comments below. What's your critic look like? What are you going to make your critic? What does she look like? What does she sound like? Let me know, because the more we come together, the more we can create together. Have an amazing, amazing day. I'll see you next time.